Greetings, brothers and sisters. Greetings to you. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Those that will be here that have not made it, I consider it a complete blessing to get the information out that we have. And to be able to talk about what we're facing today with Donald Trump, to really get an understanding of what we're faced with. Because I think it's important for us to understand what we are faced with. I think that's very important. And if we don't understand it, brothers and sisters, we're not going to know where we're going. We won't know how to organize ourselves in light of what's going on. You and I have to have some organization in light of what's going on. This is what we have to do. This is what's necessary. So we have to understand that this is the fall of the white global power structure. That's what's going on with us today. The fall of the white global power structure. And you got many brothers and sisters, I hesitate to say Negroes, because I know what that word really means. You got brothers and sisters that still don't know exactly what's going on at this time, this date. They don't know. This late in the game, and they still don't know what's going on. They're still appeasing and playing up to the white man. And the white man is ready for war. As he sees what's going on, he has to fight, right? Because on the top end, he's worried about what's going to happen to him on the top end. On the low end, he's worried about what's going to happen to him. It's white man that we're fighting. He's worried. He's worried. He's worried today more than he's ever been worried before in his life concerning what is going to happen. He's completely worried about it. The show that I had scheduled for today, we weren't able to keep it because for those of you that will be listening to this, we've had problems with YouTube and feds that are behind it to stop our show. But it won't stop it because we're going to keep moving. So we're not worried about the show stopping because we're going to keep moving. We're going to pace it as many places as we can to get some participation. And that's what we got to have. We got to have participation so our brothers and sisters will know exactly what's going on. Our people needs to be educated, brothers and sisters. I'm saying this as I type this stuff in. Our people needs to be educated. Too many of our people are going along uneducated, can't really see exactly what's happening in our community. Can't see it because they're not concerned or can't show any concern with what's going on in the community. I hope you can appreciate that. Hope you can appreciate it. So you and I have to get involved and explain the course, explain what's going on. We have to explain it. Because the fall of the white power structure is happening right now before our eyes, right now. And the question is, how does the white man respond to this? Right? The white power structure. We don't have a black power structure right now. We have a white power structure, and how will the white man respond to this? And how will black brothers and sisters respond to this? And this fall of the white global power structure. So that's what it is. Fall of the white global power structure. How are we going to deal with this? How should we deal with it? And we have to be talking about it now. They're after Donald Trump because he's a threat to the power structure that the white man has in place because he don't know how to play ball. They want somebody who know how to play ball, right? Donald Trump is an individualist, right? And if we be honest, then we know that the entire white power structure is built on capitalism, which is individual power for whoever has the most powers. It's like the play on the kings. When you play chess, you're playing against kings when you play chess. And so that's what's happening to them right now. They're wondering who's going to rule the world. That's the white man's concern. And I want you to understand that he don't want you to be able to rule the world. Right? He don't want you to rule it. You have to know that. You better know it. You better know it. He don't want to have you to rule the world because he wouldn't be able to bounce back from that. You got to understand what's going on. The white man didn't bring you here to be equal. And I'm happy that Donald Trump is one of the few devils that will actually tell the truth. I mean, you can't do anything but respect it. I know I respect it if no one else does. I respect the fact that that devil will tell the truth in the sense we don't want the black man in power. So he keeps racism going and he puts such a tight grip on it that brothers and sisters will get in line, get in order, so to speak. Right? They don't challenge it. And it's good for us because it lets us know who the coons are. Right? And when the pressure comes down, who's going to stand and who's going to give in. And I'm going to tell you something. I have to tell you. I'm telling you that in this day, this time, you're going to have to fight, brothers and sisters. Whether you want to or not, you're going to have to. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You have to fight. You don't have a choice. And I tell you these things not because I'm a warmonger. Right? I know there are those that say, well, the brother, all this talk about is violence. Here the white man is killing you every day. And he's got you tricked and spooked because he got you spooked that I talk violence, which I don't talk violence. I'm not talking any violence, but the white man will have you to believe that I'm talking violence when I'm not. Not talking any violence. Not talking it. I'm talking survival, not violence. I'm talking survival. And you and I have to get ready for survival because the white man is killing us. I say it every day. It's the only message that I have is that we've got to organize because the white man is killing us. We've got to organize. You understand that? I already understand it. I already understand it. The white man is killing us, and if we don't organize, we'll be dead. And right now, we're sitting ducks. Sitting ducks. They're fighting against one another right now. Right now in the plantation, the white man is fighting against each other. They want to see who's going to run this plantation. They've already lost control of it. Right? Now, I want you to understand this. You got to understand it. That these devils that have lorded attention over you for so long, right? They've misused power for so long. They've lorded attention over you. They lorded attention. And you see them fighting today. Two slave owners fighting. One from Russia, one from America. And many slave owners or slave investors, right? Investors of the plantation inside of America, so much so that they can't get it together. Because they can't concentrate on them and also concentrate on us. Right? And you see this. You see it. You would be a fool to see the two masters of the plantation killing each other, not to organize at that point to take over that plantation for the sake of escaping it. right? See, the most successful revolutions or revolts happened when the slaves took over the plantation. They were running. If you run, you're showing a man that he's got more power. You're showing him that the fear, right? But imagine the slaves who was always more than the masters of the plantation, taking over the plantation and kill the master and all of that stuff. I'm not telling anybody to go out and kill anyone. I'm just using an analogy because the white man was the one that put us in slavery. But I'm just saying, because right now, white people run around killing us. But I'm just putting an idea before you. Not telling you to do anything that you wouldn't have done anyway. But I'm saying, just imagine that these plantation owners are fighting. And here you go, you come along, and you begin to realize that these two masses are fighting, right? You realize that. And you say to yourself, man, if they kill up each other, we be able to run this plantation. Wouldn't have to go nowhere. I mean, you got to think about it. You've invested all of this time and money in the plantation, blood, sweat, and tears. Isn't that right? And your children were born on the same area. Isn't that right? All your family, since you were in bondage, came over there. Right? Wouldn't it be just crazy for you to leave? This is what's so crazy about the emancipation, brothers and sisters. You had Native African Americans that were here where the red man came from. Native African American that was here fighting to keep the land and fighting to give you some of it. And here you are bogged down under this man who is a stranger in this land, right? Who lord power over you. And in his hypocrisy, go to kill the Native African American and to amalgamate with him. You got to think about that. What is that saying? If he has an army, he knows it doesn't belong there. He's an occupying force, but not a native one. Right? So this is the fall of the white global power structure. You have to understand that, and I want to explain it to you. If you don't understand it, I want to help you to understand, because it's important that you do understand this fall of the white global power structure. If you remember, see, Haiti is the best example of what I can explain in this. Haiti would be the best example, because Haiti, the individuals that were there, the ones that were brought there and the ones that were captivated, came together to fight. This is how you got the free and the enslaved blacks in the Haitian Revolution. Came together and fight because they knew it was both of their best benefit to win, because both of them had the same enemy. Both had the same enemy. And here's what's crazy. You'll let the white man divide me and you. Isn't that right? You'll let him divide us. And it's crazy, really, because here he is, the same one that's giving you hell every day is giving me hell every day. The same one that is calling you a nigger is calling me a nigger. The same one that's causing you hell, right? Every darn second of your life is the same one that's causing me hell. And you got those that are still work for this man as if he really cares for them. And it's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, the man is killing you and everything else, and you love him too much to let him go. I mean, literally love him too much to let him go. I don't understand it. And I guess I never will, because I just can't see myself bowing down to that type of power. I can't see it. Not me. Right? Because I know it's not a real power. I already know that. You gotta know it. This is the fall. We see what's happening. Already, we see that the white man is falling. That's what you and I see. I mean, it's unmistakable. Literally unmistakable. But there are still some coons on the porch. You understand what I'm saying? On the porch of liberty and liberation, there's still some coons that is willing to fight for this white man who's giving us hell. So it should tell you that when the chips fall, however they may, that there are going to be some brothers and sisters going to fight to keep old Dixie alive. They're going to fight to keep Dixie alive. But you and I have to be ready to fight. Now you're going to have, in these days, thank you, in these days, you're going to have brothers and sisters fighting against one another to make this a reality. Yes, sir. To make this a reality. Where to recapitalize the reality of white liberalism, right? Because white liberalism is different than black liberalism, right? So I want you to understand this, that the white Democrat is no different than a white Republican. You have to understand it. Same people fighting for the same thing from different sides of the street. Same people. Same people. Donald Trump has to be discussed because this is a turning point. See? Donald Trump is the turning point where the white power structure will and is falling. Right? It was him the whole time. And they don't know anything about him. They don't know much about him. But he had to come along to make this a reality. And who did it? God did. God brought Donald Trump along. The Lord did. Lord God Almighty brought Donald Trump along to make our freedom a reality. He did. He did that. And I'm happy about it, brothers and sisters, because they're investigating Donald Trump. I remember the time when they wouldn't have done that. But now they say they're doing it in the name of racism, or rather in the name of freedom, right? They're doing it in the name of racism. But in the name of freedom, they're doing this. But I remember the time when there's no way that a white man would be challenged for challenging a white woman, and it certainly wouldn't be challenged for calling black people niggers and having a racist ideology. You wouldn't have been challenged. But that shows you how deep the game goes. That the Republican and the Democrats are playing the black man from both ends. That's why you be so tired. I mean, you got your head in a ping pong match, right? You are the political ball. You are the political football. You're the political basketball. You're the political baseball. The man is shooting you in. He's knocking you out, right? Knocking you out of the ballpark, right? That's what the white man is doing. That's what he's doing. And you ain't got enough sense to see. You ain't even got enough sense to see what the white man is doing. Right? Because you trusting him every step of the way. And wonder why you got such a headache. You don't know it. He's knocking the leather off your head. Yeah, he is. Oh, yes, he is. He's knocking it off your head. Right? Keeping you dumb. Keeping you deaf. Right? Keeping you stupid. That's what he does. It's the best game that he plays. That's why it's funny with me. When I see black people fighting for voting rights, I don't understand it. I mean, I don't even get it. You fighting for voting rights, something that you should have had. The man said you was free. Isn't that right? The man said you was free, but you still ain't got no voting rights. You steady fighting for voting rights. Steady fighting for registration. Steady fighting to show your citizenship. Right? You've been fighting since 1859. Since the landing of the emancipation. You've been fighting. Right? Because, and it should show you that it's not worth the paper that it's written on. Liberation and freedom is something that you'll have to get for yourself, and you may have to die to get it. You may have to die to get it, and you will die to get it. Isn't that right? Some of us are going to live on, because we already got it. We get it. right? We see the man around here shooting us. We say, that's okay. We're organizing, right? And you'll see it. If you don't see it now, you're going to recognize it. Everybody isn't taking this job off the man that others are taking. Everybody's not taking that. Open your eyes, brothers and sisters, and look to see, to find out the truth. Find out the truth. We got to talk about Donald Trump. How did Donald Trump get here? Right? How did he get here? It is strange for a man to serve only one term. Is horribly strange. Man only serve one term. Normally, a president, Republican or Democrat, would normally serve 2 terms. Wasn't the case with Donald Trump. They don't know much about Donald Trump, right? Not a lot known about him, and we have to discuss it. He's the man. He is the political man, right? We have to discuss Donald Trump. This is somebody who can't be overlooked. We still don't know how much money he has. He could be a trillionaire, for all we know. We don't know. But the man literally has global access to money. A global access to money from anywhere. Anywhere is it. He's literally the man with access to literally the world's global system. I mean, even if he hadn't become president, he has towers. There are places that pay him big money just to use his name. He's that powerful. He's that powerful. But let's understand this demon, Donald Trump. This is a demon, a devil. Yeah, people saying right now, brother, well, we don't use the term devil anymore. They're Muslims right now, I should say that. Because Christians are already looking at me buck-eyed. I know it. But I intend to explain it, and I'm going to say it as often as possible because I know that the white man is the devil. All you have to do is look at slavery and look at how the man caught us, and going back beyond that about 300 years, right? In 1397, how the men came together to make a pact to enslave us on a global scale. See? In the Kirkford Conference. So I already know. I know that the white man is the devil. I can go back to the Platonic War when he's coming out of the caves, literally kidnapping us right from Egypt, all the way, northern Egypt, all the way over to what they call Egypt is Kemet. But for the sake of it, Egypt all the way over to Malta, right? All the way over to Mauritania. And how this man is taking Africans and dragging them back to the caves and eating them. Literally eating them like Jeffrey Dahmer. So this man comes out of the ground, right? He has no idea of technology. He's only learned about this technology over the last 600 years. He didn't know it. Who taught him technology? You and I did. We taught him technology. I have to set the groundwork because I know there are brothers and sisters that will fuss with me today and not even study. And they won't even study. But they'll fuss with me today. Well, you know, you shouldn't call the white man a devil. Well, what is he? What is he? He's not an angel. What is he? Well, all white people don't fit into the same bucket, brother. I mean, all of them are complicit, even the ones that's married to black women or black men. At the end of the day, they're going to stand together. I don't care who it is. I don't care how white they are and how much man tan they use. At the end of the day, they're going to stick together on what they're doing. And you can take that or you can leave it alone. You can take it or you can leave it alone. But I tell you this because I already know. I just got to get you on the same sheet of music because you don't believe that they're united when they're killing us. There are people that believe at this late date. Well, all white people are not bad. I heard Farrakhan say good Jews and bad Jews. Good devils and bad devils. I mean, How can a Jew be good or bad, and how can a devil be good or bad when they're all the same person, all the same thing? I don't understand that. That's something I don't understand, and I imagine that I'll never understand it because I can't accept the way the white man is treating us and what he's doing to us. See? So when people like me come along, right, and on the plantation, and say, look, we got to gang up. There's more of us than them. And we got to get arms. I don't care how we get them. We got to get them. Right? And they pack together and coming for that man, you'll always have some old bootlicking Negro that'll run from where we are right on over there to the man and let him know what's going on. And that's what's kept him in power for so long. But let's talk about Donald Trump. He was born June 14th, 1946. His name is Donald John Trump. We call him the Duck, right? He's called the Duck, Donald Duck. That's what we call him. He's an American politician, so they say. The lousiest politician that you ever met in your life. A media personality and a businessman, shrewd businessman. He served as the 45th president of the United States. From 2017 to 2021, he only served one term. He only served one term. We must discuss this. We got to discuss it. Got to discuss it. He ran the Republican Party in the ground, much like he did his businesses. He ran it in the ground. He bankrupted. Right? He bankrupted his businesses. Isn't that right, brothers and sisters? He bankrupted the Republican Party. Right? I wouldn't say they had morals and values, but they damn sure wasn't the way that they are today. Right? Now, there's, how do you put it? Conflicting views on this, but they said Trump graduated from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania with a bachelor's degree in 1968. That's what they say. Now let me tell you about this business school in Pennsylvania. It's a private Ivy League school, right? A research university in Philadelphia is where it is. Generally considered to be one of the most prestigious business schools in the world, not just America, in the world. Now, his daddy was Fred Trump. Fred Trump's middle name was Christ or Christ, right? Frederick Christ Trump Sr. That was his dad's name. He had the middle name Christ. American real estate developer and business person and investor. Member of the Trump family, right? Father of Donald Trump, we already know. He was a racist. Who in 1971 organized the Trump Organization. Now, Trump Sr. expanded the company's operation, but it was Trump Jr. who translated, right? Because you can organize it then translate it to the public. Trump Jr. was the one, Donald Trump, who translated the operations to building and renovation skyscrapers and hotels and casinos and golf courses. And you have to know this because he's a shrewd businessman. Donald Trump has lent money, literally lended money to massive presidential campaigns. He lended money. The Clintons were one of them. The most popular that he lent to was Clinton. But he started side ventures by licensing his name on buildings, getting paid. This is global. Understand he went to a global school. I want you to understand what that means. And we're going to jump back to understand that so you can understand what's going on. See, your problem and our problem is black people. You have to understand this. Is that when the knowledge is going out about the individuals in front of us, who they are, where they come from, how they got there, we miss it. Because we're on foolishness. We don't use the internet to study. We don't use to research or anything like that. We're locked in foolishness. Busy shaking our tails and showing our chests. Come on, brothers. Should be getting a woman that's got her head buried in a book, and you busy getting somebody who's twerking. I mean, sister should be getting a brother who is girded, who is trying to build up the black woman, the black child, the black community, and she'll get a brother that's got his pants dangling down, right? All the while knowing that this is a message, right, of homosexuality related to the prison. Let's be real. Let's be real. So I aim at this show to tell you the truth. Tell you who we are, where we are, how we got here. And not only that, but who are the devils that are over us in this hell that we're living in. In this hell. Because you and I are living in hell. We're in hell. I don't care how you shake it up. We're in hell. You and I, we're in hell. And so it's Donald Trump that expands the company's operation on a global scale to renovating skyscrapers, hotels, casinos, you name it, golf courses. He later started these side ventures I was telling you about, licensing his name on buildings. In 2004 to 2015, he co-produced and hosted reality show television. One of the most famous ones was The Apprentice, right? Trump and his businesses have been involved in more than 4,000. Look at this. Look. 4,000 federal legal actions, including 6 bankruptcies. But who is this Donald Trump? Who is Donald Trump? And what do they teach at this Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania? Wharton School is known as a business school, brothers and sisters. Private, Ivy League, we talked about that. Generally considered to be one of the most prestigious schools in the world. The Wharton School is the world's oldest collegiate school in America. Understand that. Understand it. The world's oldest collegiate business school, having been established in 1881 through a donation from Joseph Wharton. Who was Joseph Wharton? Who was Joseph Wharton? He was an American industrialist and a racist, one of the cheapest racists. He was involved in mining and manufacturing and what they call industrial education, business, industry. He founded the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania and co-founded the Bethlehem Steel Company. That's right, the Bethlehem Steel Company, and was one of the founders of the Swarthmore College. This was a Jew. He is a Jew. Now, Swarthmore College, I want you to understand what that is, because I know a lot of people don't know. You know, we have to set to set the foundation so the brothers and sisters can understand what's going on. You got a lot of them that don't understand. They'll push you down, right? That's a liberal college university, Swarthmore is. It's also located in Pennsylvania. It was founded in 1864. It was founded in 1864. So we got two things of interest. We have the business school that Donald Trump went to. Then we find out the foundation of the Tri-College Consortium, right? A cooperative academic arrangement with Bryn Mawr and Harvard College, right? Isn't that right? So Swarthmore College is a private liberal arts college, right? In Swarthmore, Pennsylvania. Founded in 1864, with its first classes held in 1869. Swarthmore is one of the earliest co-educational colleges, co-education, in the United States, men and women. It was established as a college under the care of Friends, we're going to talk about that, at which the education of this college may be equal to that of the best institutions of learning that they have in America, in this particular country. So if you have one that is the best institution of learning in America, they made sure of it. Because in your global power, as a global power, you have to have a foundation for a country, brothers and sisters, that you're operating out of. A corporation that will fit the needs of your investments on a global structure, such as the NASDAQ, right? The Dow Jones, right, which talks about the national average of money and stock here in America, will benefit the NASDAQ, the national average status. Isn't that right? Which is leading in the global stock, which is understanding and language leading to a global stock that tells where America is, right? Currency-wise, toward investment, toward ownership. You have to understand that. You have to understand that this is something that you must understand. Donald Trump literally was the one president, not that the others were not that way, because John F. Kennedy, all of them have a reach. All of them are global power structure, but he is the closest we've seen to being established, an established CEO of this global investment and lending service, right? From this American plantation. You have to understand what's going on, because it's all about money, right? And his buck literally stopped there, because it went along with his influence. He has a global influence. The man is literally drunk with power before he becomes the president. And he had established himself as such. His father's ideal was to become one of the strongest and richest men in America. His goal was to become one of the strongest and richest global references in America. So this college, Swarthmore College, was established under the care of Friends. We're going to explain that. And that the education may be obtained, right, to that was equal to the best institutions in this country. And they tell you that Harvard is a place of power, Yale is a place of power, and all of this. You see, they give you this knowledge to trap you. When it's not the truth, you should know that any time the white man is going to tell you something, he's not going to give you the whole story. That's what the devil does, right? Isn't that right? What did Satan do to Adam and Eve in the garden, right? According to the book of Generations or Genesis. What did he do? He said, you won't surely die if you eat of the tree of life. Not surely, but you'll know as God knows. In other words, you may not die right away. You'll be imbued with power. Right? And he taught man how to be willing to give his life to obtain power. And the white man will literally die to obtain power. That's why I tell you, in the garden, right? It wasn't talking about you, Adam and Eve. It's not talking about the black Adam and Eve, brothers and sisters. Now, Atum is the black Adam, and the black Eve come from Atum, right? The linkage and ancestry of the Anunnaki. But see, because you're connected to God, you belong to God. But when you go to talking about Adam, you're talking about the white man. Mankind is the last, right? It's a kind of man. It's a kind of man. You got man, that's the last melanic on the black chain, and then after the interruption and splicing, then you got mankind. And Donald Trump and all of those that we're dealing with now are mankind, a kind of man, right? That don't know how to love, don't know anything about forgiveness, don't know anything about peace, is warring. And they stand before you and I as bloody-jawed wolves, ready to sink their teeth in us each time that they get. You and I are the sheep, and they are the wolf. You have to understand that. By 1906, Swarthmore had dropped his religious affiliation. Listen, had dropped his religious affiliation and officially became non-sectarian. Listen to that. So he went away from anything that had anything to do with morals. Now, I said that to say this, because this is where, you have to understand that this is where Wharton, University of Pennsylvania, this is where it was formed. So you had one to govern, teach you how to govern America. Then you had the other one that would teach you how to plant yourself, so to speak, in a global power structure, right? And Donald Trump is the closest that we've come to this, to have this understanding, and that he is drunk with power, right? And they said that absolute power corrupts absolutely. So we see now what's happening, what's going on, that they are losing power. White man is losing power. And his drunkenness with this power has caused him to damage his investment in slavery. Right? So all of this is falling now. All of it is falling. The white man's power structure is falling, right? Not just because of slavery, because slavery was just his A game. That was just his A game. His B game after slavery, right, was very apparent. His B game was to make you believe that you have been free and give you the land to create a new debt called sharecropping. I'm just painting it all out for you so you can know what's going on. And the families like Donald Trump, like the Kennedys, Barack Obama's white family, right? These people, some Africans, they had sold out, and all the others that invested in slavery now were being able to reap from people who had benefit them financially on the one hand, but now the second part of it, that they won't get them out of debt. See, that's why I tell you, when you see white people in power, you see black people in power, that the white man that has the power would never put any black brother or sister, I'm going to have to say that. It hurts me to say it, but I'll still recognize them as brothers and sisters. The white man is not going to put them into any kind of power that he can't control. And this is his design all over. Brothers and sisters, he will never, understand this, he will never put any black person in power that he can't control. The white man just don't operate like that. Not the way he operates. But what do you and I do in this system that is falling? We have to establish our black entities. Isn't that right? And have to establish An economic system, brothers and sisters, that is unfailing, opposed to the one that we've experienced. We have to establish something for ourselves that is unfailing. It has to be totally unfailing. Black towns, we need them. We need black automobiles. We need black grocery stores. We have to rebuild these things in our own black communities. Has to be our black community. Take a place like Nicodemus, for instance. Just think about Nicodemus. Nicodemus, Kansas, an all-black town, west of the Mason-Dixon line. West, going west. An all-black town that was established for freedom, liberation, justice, and equality. This town, if reestablished, could benefit the economy and the economy market of many black brothers and sisters that have the talent and the gifts to recreate or extend a black global power structure, right? In other words, that will give us attachments to Africa on the one hand, attach it to America, and then stretch to China and other places where blacks are, to be able to begin to build a black power structure. It don't have to be strong, right? You got to build it. It'll get stronger when you build it. And how do we do it? You just take about 100 of us and go into the town of Nicodemus. Let's take Nicodemus as an example. Nicodemus, Kansas. Put that down. We need to get that in here. Nicodemus, Kansas. Right? A lot of people don't know anything about it. Nicodemus, Kansas is an all-black town out west. They are literally trying to kill it, right? Because it stands as a reminder of true liberation and what it is as it relates to black people. You hear people now say, well, we should go to Ghana. We should go to Nigeria. Why the hell would you go to Ghana and Nigeria after you put in all of this work here that the white man is benefiting from? Brothers and sisters, I don't understand that. I don't understand it, but I know there are those, and to me, just to me, this is how you run. This is what happens when people run. But you and I today have a unique opportunity laid in our lap, and that is to build up a black town that would serve black people both nationally and globally. Not just in one area, but to build up black towns, black cities, and turn them into black states. Turn them into black states. It will be easier to take over these areas and function in that way. Right? We talked about Detroit. You got lots of black people in Detroit. You got lots of black people in Atlanta, certain parts of Florida, right? Arkansas, Mississippi, but we've got to start somewhere. And Nicodemus is begging, literally need black people to come there and to build it up. We got to talk about building it up. Building it up. And we're starting small. Don't worry about it. But pretty soon it's going to start to catch on to black people. But it has to be those of us that are willing to go and start. We have to be willing to go and start. And to make it what it ought to be. That's what you and I have to do. We've got to be willing to go there and start it. They have land. Right? We have to be willing to go there and purchase land in that area. Get some purchase of the land. Or lease the land. Or work out something to buy the land so that we will keep it black. Build stores in areas that we can. We don't need big department stores where we're taking up that much of the land. We just need enough for the main street. Put stores all down the main street in Nicodemus so that we can build it up. We have this unique opportunity because of Donald Trump, because of Vladamir Putin. They're fighting one another. These devils are busy fighting, and they're going to start killing one another, brothers and sisters. Just hear what I'm saying. Because right now, a lot of you are running around with your head in the ground or running around with your head in that white man's behind. that if he stopped, you totally disappear because you won't pay attention and see what is going on, where the prophets have come before us and told us these things. They say you will live in houses not made by your hands. Isn't that right? He said that God will come and he's going to make the rough places plain and the crooked straight. Isn't that right? He said that in the book of Isaiah. And you and I are still running around here, right? I say you and I, not individually, but collectively. The black man is still running around with his head in the sand, with his head of the white man's butt, not realizing that God is turning this nation back over to you and I, not even realizing and not knowing it. And we've got to be ready, brothers and sisters. We've got to be steadfast. We've got to be unmovable and always abounding in the work and opportunities that God has given to you and I. And brothers and sisters, the white man can't trust each other. They've never been able to trust one another. That's why you see so much hell going on. Wherever the white man is, there's going to be hell going on wherever he is. And you and I today can get busy organizing ourselves to be able to build these black areas, to be able to build these black cities, townships, what have you, and to monopolize them as true economic power and true economic currency as we take over these towns to benefit black people. The white man is benefiting himself. He don't ask you what's going on when he builds a Walmart in your community, brothers and sisters. He don't ask you what's going on when he builds a Fred's in your community. He's not going to ask you what's going on. He don't ask you what's going on when he set car lots in your community and the grocery stores and fast food restaurants. He don't ask you what's going on. He just going and build them. You got to be wise. You got to be intelligent to go back to your base. All of us have a base and a foundation that we can go back to make it beneficial for the black community. That's what you and I have to do. That's what we have to do today. While we see this fall of the white power structure, we've got to be building the black power structure, brothers and sisters. That's what you and I have to do. And we've got to get wise to do it. That's what you and I have to do. It won't happen if we don't do it. If we build it, black people will come. You only need to start out with 25 people in each of these areas to organize one business, a grocery store, and a gas station. That's all you need. And that will be a foundational business where you will even begin to do lending and things of that nature from that particular spot. How do you organize? How you have mass meetings? You'll be attending the same Liberation Temple service, right? Whether it be at a Christian church or whether it be at a Muslim mosque, you will be coming together in those places, packed together as people. You only need 25. But the more the merrier to talk about your plans of what you're going to do through your religious, right, community, your framework. Isn't that right? The white man uses it. When he go to war, he uses his priest, right? He usually got a chaplain for when he goes to war to justify his war. You and I in war. You and I in war. We got to find ministers that are willing to stand up and teach, right, strategic tactics in this war, right? We've got to be willing to find leaders and search for leaders who are going to speak to the benefit of the black man and stop teaching this white nationalism. There's nothing so horrible than to see black men doing the will of the white man, who is the devil of this planet. He is the devil. Now, there are some people saying all white people are not devils. Well, they all may not be devils, but you know I told you about these bees. Now, I told you about these bees. If you had 1 billion bees and they were chasing you, right? And I got on a bee outfit, right? I got on a B outfit and they said, brother, if I said to you, brother, don't run, because out of that billion bees, there's a million bees that don't have stingers. Brothers and sisters, you'll be out of your mind waiting for those million bees that don't have stingers getting stung by the billion bees that do have stingers. And that's how I feel about the white man. They may not all be evil, right? That's what you say. We know that they're all racist. And that's enough for me to know that they're all racist. And I have to let my yay be yay and my nay be nay. But you won't find me relaxing because you can't do it. You can't do it. He understands while he's here. You know what's going on and everything. You're the only one that don't understand what's going on. That the white man is out to kill you. And he is killing you. He's already enslaved you, which is an active war. And so he's got us in concentration. We have been in concentration camps over the last 400 years. You got to understand that. That we are in concentration camps. America is a concentration camp for the black man. You and I are in bondage. We're in slavery, right? But this slave system has broken, and the man's power left really in the 1980s. He was literally powerless from the 1980s to the 1990s. But he keeps reestablishing himself because you and I will not stand up, will not organize and come together to, as one individual, to see the one devil that afflicts pain on all of us. You ain't got no friends, black man. I tell you that. The yellow man betrayed you. Isn't that right? The brown man betrayed you every chance he get. The red man betrayed you. The red man even had many of you, his own brothers, right? His own brothers in slavery, right? Right? What was it? The Cherokee Nation, the Cherokee Indians, enslaved the black man. Isn't that something? Had us in slavery. He helped the white man do the evil that he was doing. And after that, the white man turned on him and took the land and said, hey, the freedmen or the black men that were in slavery that can prove it, they can get this land now. They'll be able to get this land. And then the Indian, right out of frustration, began to make it hard for the black man. So is the Native American practicing, right, racism? Of course he is. Is the brown man practicing racism? Of course he is. Is the yellow man practicing racism? Of course he is. He's on the side of the white man. You got black coons, bootlicking, buck dancing black men and women that are on the side of the white man, right? And they are practicing psychologically a system of racism, right, among black people. The house slave and the field slave. Come on, brothers and sisters. It don't matter that some black people have the white blood in them, right? A nigger is a nigger on whatever level to the white man. I have to say that. Whatever level, he's still counted in the same derogatory pattern or classification according to the white man. But there are those that are foolish enough, brothers and sisters, to practice racism amongst one another. You have yellow men that practice racism amongst one another. Brown men that practice racism amongst one another. Red men that practice racism amongst one another. Literally until at least it brings them all to war. And the same thing's happened to the black man. Why? Because you got guns inside of the black community with certain prejudice, with certain divisions, an undertone of racism, an undertone of self-hate that causes us to kill one another. So in this time, brothers and sisters, that we have, which is a window of time, God has provided for you and I to become in power to save ourselves, if we so desire. I wasn't going to hold you long, brothers and sisters. I'm not going to hold you long, but I wanted to bring those things out. Because you and I have work to do. There are towns that we can use. There are towns that you and I can use, right, to bring about the salvation of our people, to bring about the salvation of our people. God has given us the ability, have given us the foundation and salvation to be able to do it. The only thing that you and I have to do now is to stand in the liberty that you and I have been made free. We've got to stand in that liberty that we've been made free. How do we stand in it? We've got to stop supporting the system of the white man. It's not going to help us to support his system. We've got to support our own system. Not going to help us, brothers and sisters, to support his system. We've got to support our own system. And if we don't support our own system, no one else will. We can't talk about the white man, right? He don't have any control over his own system. So you know he can't have control over ours, because he can't even control his own system. You and I have to be able to build up our own system, to control our own system, to empower our own system. That's what you and I have to do. And the time has come, we will have to do that. The time has come. God has allowed us in this day and time to be able to do that. But if we don't do it, no one else will. You can't beg anyone to make you free, brothers and sisters. It's something that you have to do for yourself. You and I have to do it for ourselves. The white man didn't ask the people in England to make him free. Why he left and got his freedom. And when he left that country to come to this country, he was free of the debt. He was free of the system that kept him in trouble. Isn't that right? So you and I have to do the same thing. We've got to free ourselves of this system, but we won't leave it. We can't leave the system. We've invested too much. So we'll take what we've invested. We've got to take what we've invested. Don't go to Africa. You right here. You bring Africa here because you already brought it here the minute you came into slavery. You built a mighty nation. And it's time for us to reap the benefits of it. To build up our black towns. Right? To organize and correlate. To build some black power. And to take over states that are majority black. So that you and I can have some economic power. Because the investors are going to go with whoever's there. You have to understand that. Wealthy investors know that you're already doing the work anyway. You already know it. Right? Walmart wouldn't be the giant that it is if it didn't have black people making it a wealthy giant. Our work, our dollars, our labor is what makes Walmart a giant and make it the giant that it is. You and I have to understand that. If I can only pour it in your head, brothers and sisters, you will see that this is the best route for black people. This is the best route for you and I to go. Brothers and sisters, this is the best route for you and I to take in the great opportunity that God has given us in the fall of white America. And you and I must admit, brothers and sisters, that America is falling. Brothers and sisters, I thank you very much for stopping by, those that did. I ask you to spread it out, let somebody know about us. And let them know that we're teaching true black nationalism, true revolution. And that doesn't involve, right, anything more than you building a black business in your community and making sure this black business benefits your community, right? And those that are stronger will come with us to start organizing these states that black people have so we can take these states over. To reorganize black towns that haven't been bombed and buried by the white man to make it what it ought to be. Brothers and sisters, when we do this, then we have something to offer our people rather than empty hopes and dreams. It's time for the present leaders who have done such a bad job of leading us in the black community to set behind, and for this new generation to come come before us and stand with us as we establish our town for black people to be what it ought to be. Brothers and sisters, I thank you. Peace be unto you. And I say unto one, I say unto all. Assalamu alaikum.